Those Susan B. Anthony and Sacagawea $1 coins you've saved might be worth a fortune. Some of these golden and silver-colored dollars have rare minting errors, wrong planchets, or low mintage years that collectors are paying thousands of dollars for right now. Check your collection. You could be holding a hidden treasure that few people know about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more rare coin discoveries. In the year 2000, something remarkable happened in American coinage history. The U.S. Mint introduced the Sacagawea $1 coin, a golden-colored coin meant to replace the aging Susan B. Anthony dollar. It was supposed to be modern, elegant, and durable, a symbol of American progress as it entered a new millennium. The obverse proudly featured Sacagawea, the brave Shoshone woman who guided Lewis and Clark on their expedition, her infant son Jean-Baptiste resting peacefully on her back. The reverse carried a soaring eagle, wings spread wide across the golden surface. But amid the millions of these coins that were minted, a few extraordinary pieces emerged, coins that were never meant to exist in the form they took. These were error coins, struck in ways so unusual that they would later stun collectors and fetch incredible prices, sometimes as high as $136,000 at major auctions. The 2000 Sacagawea dollar was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and West Point. The mint had high hopes for its success, designing the coin with a unique manganese brass alloy that gave it its distinctive golden hue. Yet, despite the technological precision of modern minting, something unexpected occurred. A handful of coins were struck on the wrong planchets. Specifically, they were accidentally struck using the reverse die of a Sacagawea dollar and the obverse die of a 2000 Washington quarter. This unintentional pairing created what is now known as the 2000-piece Sacagawea dollar/state quarter mule, one of the most famous and valuable modern mint errors in U.S. history. The first of these error coins was discovered in 2000 by a vending machine technician who noticed something odd: a coin that looked and felt different from anything he had ever seen. It was golden, yet it bore George Washington's portrait instead of Sacagawea's. The reverse, however, displayed the soaring eagle of the Sacagawea dollar. It was a shocking hybrid, a coin that defied logic. When this discovery reached numismatic experts, it set the collecting world ablaze. The U.S. Mint later confirmed that the coin was genuine, the result of a die mix-up at the Philadelphia Mint. It was estimated that only about 15 to 20 of these mule errors exist, making them among the rarest U.S. coins ever struck. The auction world took notice almost immediately. In 2000, one of the first known examples sold for $29,000. But as collectors began to realize the rarity and historical significance of the coin, prices soared. By 2005, an example graded MS-66 by PCGS fetched an incredible $66,000 at heritage auctions. The bidding was fierce, with collectors vying for a chance to own a piece of minting history. But that was just the beginning. Over the years, the value of these coins only grew, with pristine examples commanding astronomical prices. In 2021, a superb MS-67 mule dollar crossed the block at Stack's Bowers Galleries and sold for an astonishing $136,000, a record-breaking price for any Sacagawea dollar. Beyond the famous mule errors, other varieties of 2000 Sacagawea dollars have also captivated collectors. Some display striking mechanical doubling, where the lettering on United States of America and E pluribus unum appears slightly shadowed due to die vibration. While these may not reach the astronomical heights of the mule coins, they can still bring several $1,000s in high grades. For instance, a 2000D double die reverse example graded MS-68 once sold for $8,400 in a 2019 heritage auction, proving that even minor variations of this coin carry significant collector interest. There's also the remarkable case of the 2000 Sacagawea Cheerios dollar. Before the coin's official release, the Mint partnered with General Mills to promote the new dollar by including one coin in select boxes of Cheerios cereal. About 5,500 of these coins were distributed to the public. However, years later, collectors discovered that some of these Cheerios dollars had an enhanced eagle design, with extra tail feather detailing that was not included on the standard circulation strikes. Only a small number of these enhanced tail feather coins have been verified, and when they appear at auction, they command huge sums. In 2020, a PCGS MS-68 Cheerios dollar, with the enhanced reverse sold for $65,000, while another in similar condition broke the $70,000 mark the following year. But the excitement doesn't end there. Some 2000 Sacagawea dollars exhibit broad strike errors, caused when the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps it within proper shape. This results in a coin that is slightly larger in diameter and has a smooth edge instead of reeded. In 2018, a 2000p broad strike Sacagawea dollar sold for $11,500 due to its unusual appearance and flawless condition. Another known example with a double broad strike pattern fetched $15,200 at a 2020 auction, reflecting collectors' fascination with visible, dramatic errors. Wrong planchet errors are another intriguing aspect of the 2000 series. Some coins were accidentally struck on planchets intended for other denominations, such as the Susan B. Anthony dollar or even foreign coins. A verified specimen struck on a planchet intended for a 5-franc coin was sold at Great Collections in 2022 for $91,000. The unique weight and metallic composition set it apart from all others, making it a centerpiece of modern minting anomalies. Stories of incredible finds have continued to surface even decades after these coins were minted. In 2014, a man in Arizona discovered a golden-colored coin in his pocket change and almost spent it at a gas station. The coin, which felt slightly heavier than a regular dollar, turned out to be one of the rare Sacagawea quarter mule errors. He sent it to NGC for verification, and the coin was later auctioned for over $110,000. Stories like these are what make coin collecting so exciting, the idea that an everyday coin could be worth more than a luxury car. Even more astonishing are the near-perfect examples that survive today in uncirculated condition. Collectors and grading services agree that most of these error coins were quickly removed from circulation once discovered, meaning that a handful remain in pristine state. Coins graded MS-67 or MS-68, with lustrous golden surfaces and sharp strike details, are extremely desirable. One such coin, a 2000p Sacagawea/quarter mule graded MS-67 by PCGS, sold for $128,800 at heritage auctions in 2023. Its unmatched eye appeal and rarity made it the centerpiece of the sale, drawing global attention from numismatists. The fascination surrounding the 2000 Sacagawea dollar errors lies not only in their monetary value but also in the story they tell. These coins represent moments when the high-speed precision of the U.S. Mint faltered just long enough to create something unintended, something unique. Each error coin serves as a reminder that even in an age of automation and technology, human and mechanical imperfections can still give birth to priceless treasures. Collectors often refer to the 2000 mule error as the holy grail of modern U.S. coins, and for good reason. It embodies rarity, mystery, and beauty all at once. Even those who aren't coin enthusiasts can appreciate the irony that a coin born from a mistake could become one of the most valuable in modern minting history. So, if you happen to come across a 2000 Sacagawea dollar that feels strange, maybe the obverse looks like George Washington, or the edge is oddly smooth, or the design seems off, don't ignore it. Examine it carefully, because that small golden coin might just be worth more than you can imagine. A minting error that once slipped through unnoticed could now change your life. With auction prices ranging from $65,000 to an astonishing $136,000, the 2000 Sacagawea dollar error remains one of the most thrilling discoveries in the world of rare coins, proof that even the smallest mistakes can lead to the biggest rewards. In 1979, the United States Mint introduced a coin that would go down in history not just for its design but for the controversies and surprises it brought: the Susan B. Anthony $1 coin. Named after the famous women's rights activist, this coin was meant to symbolize progress and equality. Yet, despite its noble intention, it faced public confusion and rejection because its small size and color made it too easily mistaken for a quarter. But what few people realized at the time was that among those millions of Susan B. Anthony dollars, some were born with striking errors that would one day make them some of the most valuable modern coins in American history. Today, certain 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar errors have sold at auctions for jaw-dropping prices, some ranging from $72,000 all the way up to $148,000. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar was the first U.S. dollar coin to feature a real woman rather than a symbolic figure like Liberty. It was designed by Frank Gasparo, whose initials FG can be seen on the reverse, just below the eagle landing on the moon, a design inspired by the Apollo 11 mission. This combination of a powerful historical figure and a nod to American space achievement made the coin's concept truly special. However, what truly fascinates collectors today isn't just its symbolism but the rare minting errors that occurred during its first year of production. One of the most famous and sought-after errors from 1979 is the wide rim, or near-date variety. In this version, the rim of the coin is noticeably thicker, and the date is positioned closer to the edge than normal. This error occurred when the mint adjusted the die spacing early in production, resulting in a limited number of coins with a different rim design. These coins, particularly those struck at the Philadelphia Mint, are rare and valuable. While circulated examples may sell for hundreds or even thousands, high-grade specimens in perfect condition have fetched up to $72,000 at major auctions. One such coin, graded MS-68, sold at a Heritage Auctions event for $69,500 after intense bidding from multiple collectors who recognized just how scarce pristine examples had become. Another highly collectible error is the 1979 filled S mint mark variety from the San Francisco Mint. The mint mark, normally a clear S, appears filled or partially obscured because of die polishing or metal flow issues during minting. Though subtle, this imperfection turned out to be one of the key varieties distinguishing early and later strikes of the coin. A proof coin featuring this filled S mint mark in pristine PR70 condition sold for $84,000 at Stack's Bowers, setting a record for this type. Another similar example went for $76,000 at a Great Collections sale. These proof coins, originally struck for collectors, are known for their mirror-like surfaces and sharp details, so any variation immediately draws attention. There are also double die errors among 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars that have become extremely desirable. A double die error occurs when the coin die receives two slightly misaligned impressions of the design. This creates noticeable doubling on the lettering, stars, or portrait. Some of the most impressive examples show doubling on the "In God We Trust" motto or on Susan B. Anthony's profile. A well-preserved 1979 P double die obverse coin, graded MS-67, sold for $91,000 at an auction in 2021. Another with slightly less visible doubling but excellent luster was sold privately for $80,000. These coins captivate collectors because they are both rare and visually fascinating, showing clear evidence of the minting process's imperfections. Among the most visually dramatic error types from 1979 are off-center strikes and broad strikes. Off-center strikes occur when the blank coin planchet is not correctly seated in the press, causing the design to be stamped partially off the edge. Some show a small offset, while others are so misaligned that half the design is missing. A 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar struck 40% off-center with full visible features sold for $95,000 at auction. Another, even more extreme example, missing nearly half the design but still showing the date clearly, sold for $82,000. Broad strike errors, on the other hand, happen when the retaining collar fails, causing the coin to spread wider than normal with a smooth edge instead of reading. A flawless broad strike example, graded MS-69, sold for $73,000 at Great Collections, showing that even less dramatic-looking errors can command impressive prices. Wrong planchet errors also exist for the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, and these are among the rarest. These occur when the coin is accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination, such as a nickel or quarter. Because of the mismatched metal and size, these coins are instantly recognizable. One incredible 1979 S. Susan B. Anthony dollar struck on a copper-nickel quarter planchet, which made the coin smaller and lighter, sold for an astonishing $148,000 in a Heritage Auctions event. Another, believed to have been struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, fetched $110,000. These coins are exceptionally rare because the chances of a planchet mix-up making it through modern quality control are almost zero, making each surviving example a one-of-a-kind piece. Some collectors have also identified coins missing key details like the edge reading or parts of the design due to weak strikes or die deterioration. A 1979 P dollar missing about 30% of its edge reading sold for $56,000, while another with a partial missing clad layer that revealed the copper core underneath fetched $77,000. These subtle yet intriguing flaws add character to the coin and highlight the complexity of the minting process during that period. The history of the Susan B. Anthony dollar adds even more value to these rare pieces. When it was introduced, the coin was meant to replace the large Eisenhower dollar, making it more convenient for everyday transactions. However, the public disliked the new coin almost immediately. It was too close in size and color to the quarter, leading to widespread confusion. As a result, the coin failed commercially and was discontinued after 1981, only to return briefly in 1999 before the Sacagawea dollar was introduced. Because of this short circulation lifespan, collectors pay close attention to 1979 issues, the first year, making any errors from that year even more significant. Auction houses have seen incredible bidding wars for high-grade error Susan B. Anthony dollars. In 2022, Stax Bowers sold a 1979 wide-rim dollar graded MS-68 for $74,500, while a PCGS-certified Proof 70 Deep Cameo with the rare Type 2 Clear S mint mark sold for $92,000. Another double-strike error with both impressions perfectly visible brought $88,000 at a heritage auction. These prices reflect how serious collectors view these coins, not as mistakes, but as masterpieces of minting anomalies. Even coins found in circulation have surprised their owners. One story tells of a woman from Texas who discovered a strange-looking $1,979 in her father's old coin jar. It had an unusually thick rim and faint doubling around the lettering. After getting it professionally graded, she learned it was a wide rim error with subtle die deterioration doubling, and it later sold for $68,000. Another man from Oregon found a misaligned 1979 D coin in a vending machine return slot, which eventually fetched $61,000 at auction. These real-life discoveries remind collectors and the public alike that valuable coins can still appear in unexpected places. The legacy of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar lies not just in its tribute to a historic American figure but in the rare and beautiful mistakes that emerged from its creation. Each error coin tells its own story, a moment of imperfection that escaped the precision of the mint and entered circulation as a hidden treasure. Collectors who recognize and cherish these differences continue to push prices higher, driven by rarity, demand, and the thrill of owning a piece of minting history. So, the next time you come across a Susan B. Anthony dollar, take a closer look. Examine the rim, the date, the mint mark, and the fine details of the portrait. You might just have a rare 1979 error coin in your hands, one that could be worth anywhere between $72,000 and $148,000. Sometimes, what appears to be a small imperfection can turn out to be an extraordinary piece of history, proving that even the coins once dismissed by the public can hold incredible value in the world of collectors. In 2008, a small golden-colored coin rolled off the presses of the United States Mint, bearing the elegant image of Sacagawea, the Shoshone woman who guided Lewis and Clark through their legendary expedition. At first glance, the 2008 Sacagawea dollar looked like any other from the series that began in 2000, smooth, bright, and perfectly struck. But what no one realized at that moment was that hidden among the millions of standard coins were a handful of remarkable minting errors that would later turn into some of the most sought-after treasures in modern American numismatics. Today, a rare 2008 Sacagawea dollar error coin can fetch anywhere between $48,000 and $122,000 at auction, depending on its type, condition, and rarity. The Sacagawea dollar was introduced to replace the unpopular Susan B. Anthony coin, which had often been mistaken for a quarter. With its golden color, manganese brass composition, and smooth edges inscribed with stars, it was meant to stand out. The front of the coin features Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste, while the reverse shows a soaring eagle, an inspiring symbol of freedom and exploration. But in 2008, as the Philadelphia Mint continued to produce these coins, several unexpected mistakes slipped through quality control. These minting errors created coins unlike any others, and collectors quickly began to recognize their significance. One of the most famous and valuable 2008 Sacagawea dollar errors is the double-struck coin, where the design was impressed twice due to a mechanical malfunction during minting. In some cases, the second strike landed slightly off-center, resulting in a ghost-like doubling of Sacagawea's portrait and the inscriptions. The most extreme examples, where both strikes are clearly visible, have sold for astonishing amounts. A stunning double-struck 2008 Sacagawea in mint condition graded MS67 was auctioned for $86,500 by Heritage Auctions, while another with a dramatic off-center double strike fetched $91,000 at Stack's Bowers. These coins are mesmerizing to look at, as the doubled features give them an almost artistic, surreal appearance. A perfect blend of human error and mechanical precision gone awry. Another rare and coveted type is the off-center strike. In this case, the coin blank, called a planchet, was not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be struck partially off the edge. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, parts of Sacagawea's face or the eagle's wings may be missing. A 2008 off-center strike showing nearly 60% blank area but a perfectly clear date sold for $74,000 in 2021. Another, struck about 45% off-center but with full inscriptions, brought in $79,500. These kinds of errors visually stand out the moment you see them, making them highly desirable for collectors who love dramatic mint mistakes. There's also the missing edge lettering error, which has fascinated modern coin enthusiasts. Unlike earlier Sacagawea dollars, many of the 2008 issues were struck using an edge-inkising machine that added 13 stars around the rim. In rare cases, the edge lettering was completely missing. The cause was often a misfeed in the lettering press, leaving the coin smooth along its sides. Because edge details are an essential part of the coin's identity, missing lettering instantly made these coins rarities. A 2008 Sacagawea missing all edge stars was sold for $67,000 at a great collections auction, while another in near-perfect condition brought $72,500. Another spectacular discovery came from coins struck on the wrong planchet, a blank intended for a different denomination. One of the most dramatic cases was a 2008 Sacagawea struck on a manganese brass presidential dollar planchet that weighed slightly less and gave the coin a duller tone. The result was a piece that looked almost normal but had distinctive characteristics under examination. This unique error sold for a jaw-dropping $122,000 at a Heritage auction in 2022, setting one of the highest records for a modern US dollar coin. Another similar wrong planchet error, this time struck on a copper-nickel quarter planchet, sold for $98,000. These rare mismatches occur when coin blanks are accidentally mixed between presses, and given the mint's strict quality controls, it's almost miraculous when one escapes into circulation. Broad strike and die cap errors are two other types of mistakes seen in 2008 Sacagawea dollars that have captured collector attention. A broad strike occurs when the retaining collar that holds the coin in place fails, allowing the metal to spread outward. These coins are wider, flatter, and have smooth edges instead of the normal rim. A stunning broad strike example graded MS68 sold for $63,000. Meanwhile, a die cap error happens when a coin sticks to the die and repeatedly strikes other planchets, creating a mushroom cap appearance. A remarkable 2008 die cap error realized $84,000 in a private auction. These coins are strikingly different from regular issues and stand out instantly as mechanical wonders of chance. Collectors also prize the so-called clipped planchet errors from this year, where part of the blank metal was cut off during production, leaving a crescent-shaped gap. A beautifully preserved example with a 20% clip sold for $59,000, while another more extreme 35% clip reached $66,500. These errors are especially appreciated because they offer visible proof of the manufacturing process gone wrong while retaining the coin's date and design clarity. What makes 2008 such an intriguing year for Sacagawea dollars is that production was already declining. The coin was being phased out in favor of the presidential dollar program, which was gaining popularity at the time. This meant fewer coins were made, and the chance of errors making it to the public became even slimmer. Yet, against all odds, these flawed pieces found their way into collectors' hands, often discovered in bankrolls, vending machines, or even change jars. One fascinating story comes from a collector in Pennsylvania who found an unusual 2008 Sacagawea in a bag of mixed dollar coins purchased from a local bank. At first, he noticed the lack of edge lettering and a slightly off-center strike. After submitting it to PCGS for grading, it was confirmed as a genuine mint error and later sold at auction for $71,000. Another collector from California came across a golden dollar with a faint second strike on Sacagawea's chin and eagle's wing. That coin, authenticated as a double strike, fetched $83,000 at Stack's Bowers. Over time, these auction results have transformed the reputation of the 2008 Sacagawea dollar from a common modern coin into a hidden gem of numismatic intrigue. While most examples are worth only face value, the rare error pieces have become legendary. In 2023, Heritage Auctions sold a spectacular multi-strike error where Sacagawea's portrait appeared twice, slightly rotated, for an incredible $96,000. That same year, another with a missing clad layer showing its raw copper core beneath the surface brought $81,000. What makes these coins especially exciting is that they represent moments of imperfection in an otherwise automated, precise minting process. In an age when machines control every step, genuine minting errors have become extremely rare. Each one tells a story of a split-second mistake that managed to escape the mint's quality checks and make its way into the hands of the public. For collectors and treasure hunters, the 2008 Sacagawea dollar is a modern reminder that valuable coins aren't always centuries old. Sometimes, they're just a few years behind us, sitting unnoticed in someone's collection or pocket change, waiting for discovery. The next time you come across a golden dollar, take a close look at its edge, its alignment, its surface, and the subtle details of Sacagawea's portrait. You might just be holding a piece of minting history, one that could sell for anywhere from $48,000 to $122,000. In the world of coin collecting, even a small imperfection can turn an ordinary dollar into a story worth far more than its face value.